Hey MV UK, it's Pete here and I'm bringing you a little update, something a little bit different, something that I've been working on to give you an idea of what we're dealing with, because this is going to come over the hill. The US of A is coming our way and it's good to know who we're dealing with, what they do, what they've done, and let's just summarise at the end of how it might affect us here in the UK. Right, let's get into it. Welcome back, and here we're going to go into it. Right then, so what we're going to do is going to do a little bit of your face, my face. We're going to put up one of our leaders and one of the USA counterpart leaders, and we're going to give you the best achievement just to see what we're working with. Right, so first up, here we go. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. Oh, I've just taken everything in my body to not say what I really think of the guy, but I think a picture sums it up. What's his biggest achievement? Well, apart from ruining the country in record time, his biggest achievement that I could find to date was his involvement with the Stephen Lawrence case, which was a very, very racially sensitive case. Horrific crime as well. Horrific crime. Then perpetrators deserve to be banged up, locked up with the key thrown away. Just a disgusting case, maybe touching 30 years ago almost now. Crazy. So anyway, that's his claim to fame. That case, that was it. I can't see. And let me be transparent. My research for this has been to type into Google, what is the biggest achievement of XYZ that we're talking about. So Keir Starmer's biggest achievement that popped up was Stephen Lawrence case. Then we have the man, the myth, the legend that is the Don, the big one, the Trump, Donald Trump, the president of the USA, the biggest economy, the largest military in the free world. And look at it. Compare the two pictures. This guy here, apart from being president 45 and 47, only once has it ever been a president that's been re-elected non-consecutively. So well done, President Trump. Great going. And I think you're doing marvellous things there. Positive things for the country, unlike Underpants here, who's unpicking, destroying and creating a really socialist environment where nobody tries hard, because if you try hard, you're going to get taxed. And if you get taxed, you don't earn anything. So what's the point in working if you're going to get taxed? I get the whole, it's pointless being in a rat race to the bottom. So forget it. Forget trying to achieve something with this government in tow. However, we can look over the pond to President Trump and see what he's doing. He's gone back to a merit-based system. We'll cover merit-based systems in a bit with DEI thrown in for measure. So he has took a bullet and he's got back up, and his initial words were fight, fight, fight. Wow, that's a leader. Then you've got this creature here, this piece of work. He goes to Southport and he was reluctant to go there. He was made to go there because of the optics. He didn't want to be there. He spent 19 seconds laying a wreath for 3 fallen beautiful girls who got murdered by an Islamic terrorist. That's what he was, that's what he is, and that's what he'll always be, a dirty scumbag terrorist. I'm not even going to give his name a platform, but you know who I mean. Keir Starmer, 19 seconds, and then someone in the crowd heckled him and he ran away with his tail between his legs like a big overgrown girl's blouse. What he should have done was turned around and embraced that man who was angry and upset. He should have went over there. He should have given him a hug. He should have apologised. He should have said, we knew that this guy was on Prevent's watch list. We knew it. 3 times he'd been referred and 3 times he'd been dismissed as a case. And then he went on and killed 3 times. My heart goes out to the families. Anyway, that's not what we're here for today. We're here to do a character aligner. What do you call it? Character comparison. So there you go. So we've got the two leaders, stark differences. We've got Trump, we've got Starmer, unbelievable differences. Okay, right, let's get rid of these. What have we got next? Okay, so we've got our Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. There she is, looking ever so inviting and accommodating. Ugh. You wouldn't want to meet that on a dark night, would you? What's her greatest claim to fame? Let me have a look. Yep, she's on record saying that an Asian or Pakistani PM is something to celebrate. I'll let that hang in the air. On the other side of the pond, what we've got JD Vance. There he is, looking fine, looking almost presidential before he's presidential. We're roughly the same age, so we've got skin in the game about similar life challenges and things. Now, the one thing to note about both of these guys, both Rayner and Vance, is they were both brought up in abstract poverty. Vance's mum was a junkie and suffered with addictions. She's been 10 years clean now. Hats off to you. Well done. We're all behind you. Look how he turned out. A fine specimen. He cares for his country, which is more than this person does. I have no time for Angela Rayner. I really don't. She's an identity politician who speaks with a lisp, walks with her toes inwards. And what were them shoes all about when she went to meet the king? I mean, have some decorum. Have some decorum. What an utter chav. Right, let's move on because, quite frankly, I can't look at that anymore. It's breaking me out in hives here. Right, so who we got next? Okay, this is someone else I can't hardly look at. Look, Lammy. What a plonker. He's looking very, very authoritarian there, isn't he? Ugh. He's like the panto. He's behind you. And then we all shout, oh, no, he's not. And they go, yeah, he is, and chase him around the stage with a bunch of rubber sausages. So I joke anyway. But David Lammy's claim for fame is he hasn't got one. He's done absolutely nothing productive or contributory to the economy, to the country, or anything. Excuse me. All he's done is he's got a degree from Harvard, so no university in this country would take him because he's an absolute idiot. So he's got, that's my opinion by the way, he's got absolutely nothing to his name. So when he's commanding people like MI6 and overseas operations with sensitive agencies like the 14 Intelligence, the DET, or the SAS, the troop, this is your man. Look, this guy is responsible for them. I have no confidence, zero confidence. So then we look at his counterpart overseas, which is Marco Rubio. Let me just, Marco Rubio. There he is, up on the screen now. Marco was responsible for leading the efforts against Obamacare. Now, he saved basically £2.5 billion for the American taxpayer. So he saved £2.5 billion for the taxpayer. David Lammy, on the other hand, has cost us an absolute fortune. He keeps doling out money to third world countries that hate us, want to maim us, blow us up and kill us. Why are we giving him money? That's what he's doing. This guy's saving the taxpayer money. This guy's costing us money. Utter liability. Anyway, I can't look at him anymore. Who we got next? So we've got next Shabana Mahmood. She's the UK's Attorney General. She's the Chief Legal Justice in the UK. So she must have got this position by a whole rake of accolades. So I've had a look and no. Again, like Lammy, absolute career politician, never had a business, never served in the military, probably has kids. She has been the first Muslim woman to be voted into Parliament. Good, congratulations, we do like that. However, is that really an achievement? You know, you got the role. Did you get the role based on merit, or did you get the role based on DEI ravished civil servants, civil department, which means that basically we need more Muslims, we need other people from white people. In other words, DEI is a racist concept because it doesn't include everyone, it excludes majorities, which makes it very hard for people to find talent based on merit when it's there in abundance. So anyway, she's got DEI higher as the first Muslim woman in parliament. However, she does get my absolute commendation because, and I condone her for this behaviour, she prevented an absolute toxic waste of space called Ahmed Mahmoud, who's a toxic Gaza, Hamas-loving, supporting traitor based in Birmingham, openly says on camera that they're coming to take over the UK and turn it into a Muslim state with Sharia law, Islamic state, sorry, with Sharia law, lock, stock, bells and whistles, the full it. He wants it to be just like Pakistan, the third world country they've all fled from, to turn this Western country into their flea pit. Anyway, not having it. So actually, Shabana, apart from not actually achieving anything in her career other than doing university, gets my top marks for preventing Mahmoud from getting anywhere near a parliamentary seat. That is the worst thing I could think of. Right, so who's next? Shabana Mahmood, our Justice in the UK, our Attorney General. Who's the Attorney General over in America? It is Pam Bondi. Now, Pam Bondi is the first female to have actually achieved a position of the Attorney General for Florida. So she actually has some merit achievement. She worked hard and got that role. She didn't just be a politician and then picked up the role. She had to study, she had to compete, she had to campaign, and she got her position justifiably, correctly, in the right manner. She was also the defense lawyer on President Trump's first impeachment trial when he was the 45th president. So she comes with a very good caseload, a good CV of achievement. Brilliant. So that's it. They're your two attorney generals. Make of which you will. So then I've got two more to go, two more positions to cross-reference, so stay with it. Oh, actually, if you're enjoying this, if you're finding value in seeing who's in the UK and who's in the US and what they do and what they've achieved, do leave me a comment. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And also, if you are enjoying this, please do hit the like button, maybe subscribe. I rely on you guys for subscription and growth. Subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. And if you're really enjoying what you see, I don't often do it, but you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description. I'll leave you with that. So, right, here we go. Let's talk about Homeland Security, or the Home Office as we call it here in the UK. Let's start with America, shall we? We've got Kristi Noem here. She is notoriously successful. She was the governor of South Dakota and become probably a fame shot to the limelight when COVID was on, because she actually banned the mandate for wearing masks and taking COVID vaccine injections. She actually said that it's now your choice if you wear a mask. It's your choice if you put the poison in your body that's never been tested but was forced upon everyone as a massive global social experiment from the WHO, the World Health Organization, the WHO. I call them WHO, as in, who are you? Who are you? And who do you think you are? Shutting the world down. What a disaster. It started the end of my business, so no, not bitter at all. Right, so we've got Kristi Noem. She had some massive minerals to say it's your choice to wear masks. It's your choice to get vaccine when the whole world was under vaccine lockdown and restrictions and suppression of information. It was one massive government project in control. Now, who have we got in our Home Office? So these guys are responsible for keeping us safe on home soil. Now, what you've got to remember is that we've had a string of terrorist attacks here in the last few years. They're getting more frequent, they're getting more brutal, and they're getting, and they're getting more suppressed. For instance, when something happens, they say instantly one of two things. Yes, it's a terrorist incident. We just can't deny it, so we have to call it out as a terrorist incident because, you know, the guy was shouting Allah Akbar on the hood of a car whilst running people over. I'm sorry. Condolence to anyone who's been caught up in terrorist activities as a victim. My heart goes out to you, and I'm sorry for laying it bare for what it is. But they have to say it's a terrorist attack because the guy was saying so much in that like, and it was all over social media before anyone could suppress the news. So yes, that's one incident where they say it's an isolated attack. And then the other incidents where they've got a little bit more time to quash the narrative, and they will turn around and say that it was mental health. You know, they say, oh, it was mental health. He was a bit of a wrong and a bit of a nutter. We knew him, but we didn't want to lock him up. And like the Nottingham attacker, again, I'm not going to say his name, and my heart goes out to the families affected. It truly does. But this guy here was psychotic. They said that he didn't take his psychotic drugs. And that's what led him to do a triple murder in Nottingham. Now, the problem is that there is an injection medication that would have seen him stabilized, but they didn't inject him. Why? Because he told them he was scared of needles. Can you believe this? What kind of nanny state are we living in? Like, anyway, so Homeland Security, Home Office protects this. Let's have a look at our Home Secretary, who's in charge of the Home Office, MI5 and all interests in the UK. I rest my case. Can you see the issue? When you've got a message like this, they're never going to say, we've got a problem with Islamic terror in the UK. They're not going to say we've got a problem with radical hate speech in the UK. They're not going to do it. This sums up the whole root cause problem of the rot in government right now. Okay, so that just basically says the problem is not going to end unless we vote them out in 4 years and 2 months, not that I'm counting. So let's wrap up now. Let's finish on a positive note. The health say I've saved this purposely to the end because it is positive. As much as positivity in the governments can go. Right, let's start with our guy, Wes Streeting. Here he is. Now, I'm so pleased at this. I'm so pleased. He's young, he's fit, he's healthy. Whilst he's made some lunatic decisions on giving pay rises to people without accountability, I do genuinely, somewhere deep down in this, you know, well suppressed heart of mine, think that he has the best wishes or the best interests for reforming the NHS as a Labour politician can have. I do. I genuinely do. My fear is that he's going to be frustrated by the crooks. By the crooks. Oh, hang on. By the crooks in government. And they're gonna force him out, because he's going to say some things that they don't agree with or they don't want. So I hope he has the balls to stand up for it. Wes, we're behind you, or I am. So far, apart from your pay rises, so far so good. Please keep the pressure on. Get rid of the bureaucracy. Sack off all of the middle management. And let the people who are on the wards run the hospitals, not middle management, and you're going to see a massive turnaround. My other 10 penneth is to do central purchasing in the NHS. Set up a procurement body, one body, where all of the trusts and all of the whatever they're called, the NHS bodies, they all indent and buy from one central office, and that will give that central office huge buying power. There's in some cases one NHS trust is paying £17 for a bandage, and this NHS trust is paying £3 for the bandage. If you had a central purchasing, that £3 bandage would turn into a £1.20 cost bandage, and the guys who are paying £17 will literally be cash rich in 2 weeks. So that's my advice to you, Wezza. is to do central purchasing. Who do we have in the USA as a counterpart for the health secretary? Let's have a look. Hey, it's the RFK, Robert Kennedy, son of JFK, obviously. Let God rest his soul, assassinated. Now, RFK, look at him. This guy gets up, works out, eats healthy, he eats organic food, he is no, he's not anti-vaccine. That's wrong. That's wrong. The mainstream media, the left-wing radical lunatics, they're all painting the wrong picture of RFK. What he's saying is let's pause, let's stop the mandate that you must have a vaccine. What he's now doing is giving the American people rightfully the choice whether they want to take the vaccine or not. And he's going to lay out all the facts in an easy to read, the pros, the cons of how the vaccine works, the side effects. Some of these vaccines are black boxed. When you've got a black box in America on medication, it means it comes with the strongest warning that there will be repercussions, possibly side effects, maybe death. Some of these vaccines are black boxed and people have to take them or they're breaking the law. RFK's changing the status quo there. He's going to hold Big Pharma accountable. They have the most money spent per person on healthcare, and they have the sickest people in the world. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the Big Pharma owns the food companies, and they are generally using the chemicals and the additives and the acids and the benzynes and the E numbers and the everything else they ram into food to make it addictive, to make it tasty, to make your brain trigger that you want more of that food. And that gets you addicted, that makes you fat, it makes you inactive, and it gives you long-term health problems. RFK is the bullet, the silver bullet that's going to take that down. And I cannot, out of all of the appointments, which are really exciting over in America, and the reason of this video was to give you a comparative, there's only one outstanding position to be filled right now in America, and that is the FBI director, and there's strong odds on Kash Patel winning that position, but the Congress have to vote the people into their roles. This is a fabulous idea. So let me put it into comparative. If the Cabinet Office, you've just seen a lot of them here through this video, when they're appointed by Keir Starmer, they would then need to go and sit in front of the panel at the House of Commons, and the House of Commons, cross-party, would delegate and say, yes, we agree with Wes Streeting as the Health Secretary or Angela Rayner as the Deputy Prime Minister. So a cross-party body will then confirm the choices of the Prime Minister or the President, so the people have the very best candidates in. What we've got in the UK is what we refer to in business as an old boys club. It's a case of, oh yeah, you've been in the party the longest, so you can have that role, and you might be absolute garbage at the job, but you can have the role because you've been around the longest, then you're the most loyal, and if we say something that, you know, our constituents don't like, you're going to support us. You're not going to listen to your constituents. The Labour Party believe that you are inferior, that you don't matter. All the Labour Party want is your tax money to further their global agenda of giving money to every country that hates us, wants to maim, destroy, kill us, to make them stronger and make the UK weaker. We can't stand for this. My last video about the fracking is just an example of how we want to financially self-harm. We've got liquid gold here. We've got a gas field in Lincolnshire that will power us for 10 years with no need to use carbon footprint on transportation and importing. Why aren't we doing it? Because this government wants to increase their global power. This government wants, when they're voted out, like in a landslide in 4 years, they want their international circuit of dinner party speaking and the bankrolling of globalist positions in global firms and corporates and conglomerates to get more money to feather their nest. They are absolutely corrupt. All of them are corrupt. I have no time for them, and the quicker they're gone, the better. So next time there's a general election, everyone, think about what we're doing. only 20% of the country turned up for this election, which means that 80% of the country did not vote for Labour. They did not vote for these suicidal policies. And I think that we need another Brexit movement for the next election where 80% of the country turns up to vote and sends that message in a democratic way. Look at America. You watch, in 3 weeks, they've already saved billions and billions and billions of pounds by cutting the waste, abuse and fraud from the government and the federal departments. Imagine we deployed the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, through Whitehall, through the civil servants. It would be incredible. We would see all sorts of heinous activity. We'd see where all the money is going, where all the money is being squirreled away into offshore accounts for later use. We're not stupid. But anyway, right, so I'm going to wrap it up there. I know it was a bit of a longer video than usual, but hey, we're looking at the differences of our leadership to America's leadership, so that we can come back and have a look at this video in future when something happens with one of our guys, one of their guys. We can actually come back and say, look, yeah, we checked it out, we compared it against the two, you know, two of the biggest superpowers in the world, although ours is turning into a bit of a comic book. But nevertheless, we are still... People can see through this. People across the pond, people in, well, not in Europe, they're desperate, but people around the world that matter, they can see through this government. They can see Keir Starmer is a fool. They can see that his cabinet are only appointed because they're arse lickers. Sorry, did I say that aloud? Yeah, I did. Anyway, right. I'm going off on a tangent again, so I'll leave you to it. Please do leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the two governments. Who stands out for you? Who do you think is going to make it 4 years from our side? Who do you think is going to make the biggest impact from the American side? What impact will this government have on our government over the next few years? Is it going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? Are we going to get in a tariff war? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I really appreciate you watching this. If you like this, why not take a moment to watch another one of my videos? There's all sorts going on there. It's a real haberdashery of stuff. You might like it, or flip over and spend some short time on some short videos. Some great extracts there from our leaders having fine moments. And on that note, it's Pete from MV UK. Until the next time.